Acts chapter 14. In Iconium the same thing happened. They went into the synagogue and spoke in such a way that a large number of both Jews and Greeks came to trust. But the Jews who would not be persuaded stirred up the Gentiles and poisoned their minds against the brothers. Therefore Shaul and Barnabas remained for a long time, speaking boldly about the Lord, who bore witness to the message about his love and kindness by enabling them to perform signs and miracles. However, the people of the city were divided. Some sided with the unbelieving Jews, others with the emissaries. Eventually, the unbelievers, both Jews and Gentiles, together with their leaders, made a move to mistreat the emissaries, even to stone them. But they learned of it and escaped to Lystra and Derbe, towns in Lycaonia, into the surrounding country, where they continued proclaiming the good news. There was a man living in Lystra who could not use his feet. Crippled from birth, he had never walked. This man listened to Shaul speaking. Shaul, looking at him intently and seeing that he had faith to be healed, said with a loud voice, "Stand up on your feet." He jumped up and began to walk. When the crowd saw what Shaul had done, they began to shout in the Lycaonian language, "The gods have come down to us in the form of men." They began calling Barnabas Zeus and Shaul Hermes, since he did most of the talking. And the priest of Zeus, whose temple was just outside the city, brought bulls and wreaths to the city gates, intending to offer a sacrifice to them with the people. When the emissaries, Barnabas and Shaul, heard of it, they tore their clothes and ran into the crowd shouting, "Men, why are you doing this? We're just men, human like you. We are announcing good news to you. Turn from these worthless things to the living God who made heaven and earth and the sea and everything in them. In times past he allowed all peoples to walk in their own ways, yet he did not leave himself without evidence of his nature, because he does good things, giving you rain from heaven and crops in their seasons, filling you with food and your hearts with happiness." Even saying this barely kept the crowds from sacrificing to them. Then some unbelieving Jews came from Antioch and Iconium. They won over the crowds, stoned Shaul, and dragged him outside the city, thinking he was dead. But as the Talmudim gathered around him, he got up and went back into the town. The next day, he left with Barnabas for Derbe. After proclaiming the good news in that city and making many people into Talmudim, they returned to Lystra, Iconium, and Antioch, strengthening the Talmudim, encouraging them to remain true to the faith, and reminding them that it is through many hardships that we must enter the kingdom of God. After appointing elders for them in every congregation, Shaul and Barnabas, with prayer and fasting, committed them to the Lord in whom they had put their trust. Passing through Pisidia, they came to Pamphylia. After speaking the message in Perga, they came down to Attalia, and from there they sailed back to Antioch, the place where they had been handed over to the care of God for the work which they had now completed. When they arrived, they gathered the Messianic community together and reported what God had done through them, that he had opened a door of faith to the Gentiles, and they stayed for some time there with the Talmudim.